Hi.
Hi. So here we are. End of month 2. And how would you say it's been?
Good.
Good?
Yeah.
It was slower.
Definitely much slower paced. And then I feel like this past week has been faster paced.
Yeah. Yeah, so let's back up. So when we first started the month, we were still on the beach. We were at Rutherford, right?
Mm-hmm.
This really nice little stretch of beach on the Gulf of Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, it's one of those places, one of the few places I would say in this part of the country where you can stay for up to 2 weeks for free.
That we found anyway.
Yeah, that we found.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was right on the beach. We could roll onto the sand and park just about anywhere, as long as we didn't sink.
Yeah.
And just enjoy the water. But yeah, met
Us on a bus.
us on a bus. Hi guys. Met them. Met another guy named Charlie with a great big old Class A charter school bus thingy. Huge.
Bus, yeah.
Huge, and he's still working on his too. But yeah,
We had a nice little bus / dog / people community for a couple of days there. That was
fun.
Was nice. Yeah, those were they were the first bus people we've met in the wild.
Yeah, and we were saying that it was nice that we didn't know them before we met them, because
like we weren't following them on Instagram, hadn't seen them on YouTube.
So we didn't have like this whole like, oh, we know all about you, but you don't know anything about us.
Yeah, we didn't feel
none
like
of
creepers.
That, so that was nice. But yeah, we were there for 5 days, 5 days-ish. And then we basically went, we had one other stop. We went to that place in Winnie, Texas.
We were there for 2 nights, I think, right?
Yep. Yeah, that was just another like
Stop
public park, free park.
That was free water as well, which is
well,
nice.
I mean, technically they don't want you to use it.
Well, the water they said you can use. It's the electric.
Oh, the
hookups.
electricity, right?
Yeah, but the water is fine to use. It's just one of those places where you just have to like call the commissioner's office and request a permit.
So then from Winnie, that was actually our first stop in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Then we went from there to Austin, technically Pflugerville, where our Aunt Sarah lives, and they were gracious enough to let us park on the side of their house for, it was like
2.5 weeks, I think it ended up
Yeah,
being.
because we had a wedding. Our cousin Stephanie got married. Congratulations!
Stephanie and Alex.
And Alex got married, yep. And so we were there for that. And that was really all that we were kind of planning on being around for. But then we hadn't spent time with our family for Christmas in years. So we were just like...
Not since we've been married, except for when your mom and grandma came to visit us in Florida.
Yeah. But not the extended family anyway. And so we were just like, hey, would that be cool? Could we stay? And they let us do it, which was awesome because we got a lot of work done. We spent a lot of time just with the family because we hadn't seen them in a long time. And it was really nice seeing Grandma. She was really happy to see us too, which was nice. And it was just a good time.
Yeah.
Did a couple of puzzles.
Yeah.
So we ended up staying there through Christmas, and it was the next day, the 26th.
Boxing Day.
Boxing Day. We left on Boxing Day, and where did we end up? Is that when we went to the Anahuac? Anahuac? Guacamole.
Yes.
I think so.
Yeah.
But it's actually really close to Winnie because we were headed back east.
Yeah, I kind of wish that we... Well, actually, we needed water after being on the beach, so it worked out that we were there. But I definitely liked this place better than Winnie.
True. Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah, I would go back there.
Yeah, we actually had it's a big historical park that actually has like 4 baseball fields in construction in front of it. There's a bunch of like little historical sites that you can go read about, and then if you go to the back of the park and down the hill, there's like this big inlet from the Gulf that has a great big long pier on it. There's a peninsula right next to it, and that's where we parked. It was so nice. We had the entire, like, that peninsula, we just kind of claimed it, and we were there for 2 days, 2 nights?
2 nights, yeah. I mean, even, because at first we found a spot to park up in the park, and we were underneath this, like, beautiful tree, and it was kind of up on a hill a little bit, like, overlooking. I'm like, oh, this is great. This is beautiful. Mm-hmm. And then we went for a walk, and we were like, oh, like, that's really nice, but that's in the middle of all the park action. This nice little, like, peninsula with the palms and the water right there. Yeah, that's nice. We're gonna go there.
It was really, really nice. We got the windows all opened up. There was a constant breeze going, so it's just...
And no bugs.
Yeah, it was
for being surrounded by water.
It was really, really nice. Yeah. There's plenty of walking to be done. We really enjoyed that area.
Yeah, nice little like piers to walk around on.
It is one of those places that you're supposed to call and get a reservation, but whether it was because of the holidays or the weekend
both of those things. And with that, I can't remember which like app it was, but someone said that when they couldn't get a hold of the commissioner's office, they tried the sheriff's office. So that's what I did. I left a message with the commissioner's office, and then I also called the sheriff, which a dispatcher picked up, and I was like, I don't know if this is worth anything, but this is what we're trying to do. And she was like, well, I can't, as a dispatcher, I can't give you permission, but she's like, you should be fine. And she's like, just give me like blah, blah, blah information about yourselves, and I'll spread the word. And if anyone does come knocking on your door, just show your ID and you should be all set.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And it
never hurts to do that just for that peace of mind.
Yeah. Yeah, because the day after we got there, had been a sheriff like parked over in the boat ramp parking area where you're not allowed to camp or park overnight. But he never came over, said anything. There were a couple other sheriffs that were kind of parked up the hill in the park for a little while.
And there are definitely people who like worked there, kind of coming back and forth. But
nobody ever mentioned anything, so
the only people that came close to us, I think, were people who were jealous of our parking spot and were trying to weed us out.
You could definitely tell that there were locals who would come down there, like especially around sunset time, like just to eat dinner or maybe make out a little bit or whatever. Do a little doobies. But whenever they saw us there, because there were 2 places to come down the hill. The one on the outside is the one that they would typically come down. They'd take a look at the peninsula and see we were there, be like, and we're turning.
Yeah, sorry guys, we weren't there long.
Yeah, no, it was such a nice little place though. Mm-hmm. And then, let's see, from there...
Mississippi. Bay of St. Louis.
Oh, yeah. No, Bay St. Louis.
Oh, Bay St. Louis.
Bay St. Louis. That was actually really surprisingly nice.
Yeah, we weren't really sure what to expect. And, I mean, we both said we'd go back to that, like, when we have more time, we'd park there again and explore that area. Because as we were driving in and driving out, we were like, oh, that's kind of a cool little pocket of stuff. Or, oh, look at this huge, long stretch of beach.
Yeah, like white sand beach.
Yeah. Okay. So definitely whenever we're passing through there again, we'll stop there again. Depending on the time of year.
Yeah, no, definitely. So all of these places, for the most part, are going to be best in, like, the cooler months, because summertime... it's going to just be scorching hot.
Yeah,
and
I'd imagine
full of bugs.
Very different experience.
Yeah.
But
for December, it's really nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this Bay St. Louis place, it was another boat ramp. We keep having really great luck with boat ramps. I don't know what that is, but
we just love water.
Yeah.
So it works.
It works really well.
Yeah.
But it was just another boat ramp. Technically, it wasn't the boat ramp. There were just a lot of like pull-offs before the ramp.
Yeah, because you couldn't. They had like specific signs saying no RV parking, no overnight camping or whatever at the boat park. But
all these like trash receptacles and like sandy areas where there were no signs whatsoever. Clearly, people parked there on a regular basis.
Yeah, locals would like park there and fish at whatever hours of the night. And because at the end of the road, the only thing that's there is the boat ramp and then the road stops.
Yep.
It kind of minimized any traffic, even though you're on the, like, you're right next to the road.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I will say there was more traffic than I would have expected, but it,
again,
I mean,
like your stoners, your kids, your lovers lookout point. Because when we say this place was right on the water, it was right on the water. Like there was the pull off, there was the road, and then there was like a sidewalk, and then it was just a drop off to nothing but water. Yeah, it was gorgeous, and we got poured on. But the next morning was crazy because everything was just completely foggy. It was just really, really pretty. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a really nice place. And then as we left the area, like Joy was saying, we saw all these white sand beaches just for miles. It was called
like Long Beach, which is very appropriate. And we're looking and we're like, oh my gosh, there's like campers parked over here. Yeah, like we probably could have parked right on the beach. I mean, it's definitely on a busier road.
Yeah.
So,
but if you're driving the big rigs, not like a shuttle bus, but we're talking like Class A RVs. Like,
or even like schoolies with like a lifted roof.
Schoolies with lifted roofs, like us on a bus. Yeah, you would never have made it to where we were parked because there were all these wires hanging over the road that were so low, even we were paranoid.
And even just turning around at the end of that road, I think would be difficult.
Yeah, it would be a pain. But
try the beach.
Yeah, just keep going across, what was it, 90? I think it was Highway 90 or something.
And I think it's just called Long Beach.
Yeah, and there are tons of places where you can pull off and just stay the night because there are places that have signs up that say no overnight parking, but most of them,
and we definitely saw RVs there who had their sides popped out that looked like they had been there, and they were right on the main road. So you'd like across the street, there's like businesses and houses and things. So you'd think that cops would have been by and stopped them if they couldn't have been there.
Yeah.
So we definitely want to try that at some point again once we're
next year.
Whenever we're passing by southern Mississippi again, who knows?
Yep. But then from there, I think we actually found our new favorite spot. We keep saying like we love all these places, but I mean, we've had such great luck with finding locations.
Well,
lately.
And it's like I don't know. I feel like when it comes to people, I don't know, moving into bus life, van life, nomad life, whatever, I feel like everyone always wants to go like out west, like which makes sense because there's
places to park.
Yeah, we want to go there too for those reasons, but like it's like I feel like we've been traveling around the southeastern portion of the U.S. because we just had a lot of like family and people to visit, and there's just like a lot of like either scheduled things or just people we hadn't seen in a while that we needed to see. I was never really like, ooh yeah, let's explore the southeast, because I mean I've already driven through it a lot. I don't know, but driving through it and stopping in each state and kind of finding these little pull-offs, these little like nooks and crannies, it gives you a new appreciation for these areas. For sure. And I don't think I ever would have been like, ooh, look at this cool part of Mississippi I want to explore. Like, but that's what is cool about doing this.
Yeah. So we ended up going from Mississippi to, that's when we skipped Alabama and went straight for Florida again. And we ended up in Morrison Springs, Florida, which it was, not gonna lie, a little risky because we had read reviews and some people had said like, oh yeah, like we parked in the overflow lot and had no problems. But then there was the one review that was like, yeah, I parked there too, and then I got kicked out. We didn't have any issues. We were only there for the one night, but man, it was beautiful. It's just like I said, Morrison Springs. It's a
free springs to get into.
Yep, you can go. There's a little swimming hole there. There's a boat launch. Kind of around the way a little bit, and
you can't park at the boat launch though.
Yep, or the park.
Yeah, only in the overflow. And we didn't see, because it's kind of out of the way, like it's not on any main roads, so we didn't see any cops, but we definitely saw quite a few like employees of the place. No one said anything to us or bothered us or anything. If you're into free diving or scuba diving, it's a great spring to go to.
Yeah, we saw a couple of divers.
Yeah, if we hadn't been trying to get here, I would have been like, let's try and stay here a couple more days so we can get. I mean, because it was also it was pretty cloudy over. It was like raining on and
rainy.
off the whole time, so like the water definitely wasn't at its like highest clarity level, but
it was still like it was so clear.
Yeah, if we were staying another day, I would have busted out my snorkel, but we got in we were just there one night, but the next morning we got up and went for an early morning.
Had the place to ourselves.
Yeah.
It was so nice.
Water was really cold.
Yeah, I think it's consistently like 68-ish degrees, so like most Florida springs, pretty cold.
Especially like first thing in the morning on a damp morning in December.
Yeah, but we still got in, and it was worth it. It felt great.
It was really nice and refreshing. They've got outdoor showers.
Mm-hmm.
They've got bathrooms that do get locked up at night.
But they showed up like 8 or 9 a.m. and unlocked those. Not that we used them, but they were there.
Yeah, and I mean, and even if like you didn't have a bathroom on your build, I think there's enough privacy that you could just go into the woods.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, it was a really nice spot. We definitely would have stayed there a little longer if we hadn't been trying to keep on the schedule, because we were trying to get to where we are now by the end of the year, which we did. But we'll get there.
Yeah.
So we left Morrison Springs and went to another kind of middle of nowhere place. You remember what was that? Twin
River Trailhead.
Twin River Trailhead. It's like an equestrian trail, a national like bird watching trail of some kind. Mm-hmm. Just a grass lot really at the trailhead. No reception there, but
which is kind of nice sometimes.
Yeah, it's nice to be disconnected from time to time. Mm-hmm. But yeah, just a one night stop, because we didn't want to have to drive like 4.5 to 5 hours in one day and then be social and blah blah blah.
Yeah, well, and we have been traveling every single day since leaving Texas, and so it's nice to we decided instead of doing like a couple of days where we're just driving the entire day, basically break it up into smaller drives so that we are driving a little bit each day, which I feel like either way is a little tiring, but I think breaking it up kind of gives you a little more time to, I don't know, breathe, refresh a little bit.
But yeah, so then we busted out the last leg of the trip yesterday and went from there to
south of Jacksonville.
Yeah, so, kind of like St. John's-y area.
Yeah, I'm still not sure if that's like the actual name of a town or if it's just the name of an area, but it's like Jacksonville, St. Augustine area, but not really either of those, but both of those at the same time. I don't know. Yeah,
we went to a boat ramp again. It wasn't on any of the it wasn't on iOverlander or what's the one you've been using now? Campendium. Yeah. It wasn't on either of those, but it was on Google Maps.
And it said it was open 24 hours, so I was like, let's go check it out.
Naturally, once we get there, the first sign that we see to this place is that the park is open from like 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. or 10 p.m. or
so
something.
It was one of those risky things. So I think technically the boat ramp is open 24 hours, but the boat ramp is within the park, which has closing hours. So it was a really busy park. Granted, we got there on New Year's Day, and it was also a weekend, or New Year's Eve, and it was a Saturday.
It was a beautiful day.
Friday?
Friday.
I don't know. So it was really busy. So
we did find another spot through Joy's cousin, Steven, which is great. Yeah. We were just in a big kind of overflow lot again, and lots of sun, lots of space for Quaid to run around. Mm-hmm. It's really nice. So
yeah, Steven works for a church in the area, which has this huge kind of overflow parking area, and he was generous enough. The church was generous enough to say,
come on in. So here we are, and that worked out too, because we went for a walk last night. And when we got back, Crane started kind of freaking out a little bit.
Well, hold on. I back up, because we could hear fireworks going off all over. So we were like, oh, it's a nice night. Like, let's go for a walk and watch the fireworks that are clearly happening everywhere. But we started walking, and between the trees around us kind of blocking everything and it just being really foggy, we could hear them everywhere. We knew they were close, but we couldn't see anything. So we were like, okay, well, I guess,
Boo.
guess that's not happening. And then, yeah, so we started walking back to our lot.
And Quaid started freaking out, and we were like, why is his ridge up? What's going on?
And I'm like,
Joey's like, there's this person there.
Yeah, and Sam's like, where? I'm like,
what are you talking about?
Right there.
Well, they were all like hunched over and like,
yeah, but it
not
was just
moving.
so funny because they were like, what? Where? I'm like, right there. There's a person right there.
And he was like, oh, hey guys. So I was like, oh, hi. What's up?
Because it was just in a dark open field.
Yeah.
So
and he was just like, I've got some fireworks. Do you guys mind if I throw them? And we were like, that's a new one for us. Haven't heard of anybody throwing fireworks. Well, but sure, go for it.
At first, I couldn't understand him because he was kind of mumbling. I thought he said something about like throwing flowers. And I was like, sure. I don't know.
But yeah, so it was him, and there were actually two other guys who were off the other side.
I think it was his kids. They looked little.
One was little. I don't think any of them were like adults.
Oh, I thought one guy was I thought it was like a father, older kid, and younger kid. But it was dark, so who knows?
But yeah, they just had a bunch of fireworks that they had bought, and we were like, yeah, go for it. So we had our own little personal fireworks show.
Private show. So.
And yeah, that went on for, it was only like 15, maybe 20 minutes, but it was nice. Kind of made the venture out worthwhile.
Well, I think we also would have, if we were just sitting in the bus and all of a sudden heard these fireworks going off just outside our window.
What's happening?
Yeah, I think all
then
of us.
Then Quaid would have freaked out.
I think we would have freaked out too. Someone's shooting us. What's going on?
But yeah, so it ended up being a good end of the year, and I mean, in general, the year was very stressful. It was very difficult, but the last couple of months have been a nice little breather from that. So it's been good.
Mm-hmm. Oh wait, we did have one question. Remember?
Oh, I have not forgotten.
Oh, do you have it written down? Because I took a screenshot of it so we wouldn't forget.
I know what it is.
Do you know who sent it?
Have bus will wander.
Oh, well then.
Have bus will wander. They were asking us if we had any plans of like going up through Canada or the States, and technically we're in the States, so we're going to do that. We will eventually be going through Canada because we'd like to take the bus up to Alaska one summer.
Yeah, that's kind of a long-term plan. We'd love to explore just like Vancouver area, and eventually make our way up to Alaska.
Yeah. Getting lost in some woods up there would be nice. We haven't seen a whole ton of like wild
in the summer.
In the summer, for sure in the summer. Never in the winter, ever. We haven't really seen a whole lot in the way of like wildlife where we've been. But we've seen like toads and hawks.
Yeah. But I mean, I wouldn't really
heard coyotes.
Yeah, and I based on like the places that we've been, I wouldn't really expect to so much.
Yeah. But we're anxious to get into the wilds a little bit more once we start traveling for us, and instead of just going around and seeing the people, which has been great. Yeah, we've loved seeing people that we know and love. But
yeah, we were kind of talking about it yesterday. It's because we've basically have just been kind of playing catch up on the last couple of years of like, okay, who are the people we haven't seen in a while that we really should make a point of seeing because we want to see them, and now we have a bus so we can, and we had the wedding, and so we've just been kind of like going through and seeing those people, so which is again has been great. It's been really cool to explore this area, but I think once we're kind of done with this, we're really looking forward to just being able to go out and explore and travel just for us, and just go just where we want to go without a like specific agenda of we need to get here at this time to see this person, or unless that's what we want to do, but just being able to be a little more open-ended and free with our planning, and hopefully going where
no man has gone before.
No, it's just that with visiting specific people, you're trying to be close to them, especially like we just have a bus. We don't have a secondary vehicle or bikes or anything right now. So if we want to visit with people, it's really best for us to park as close to them as we can. And a lot of people will either have like HOAs or whatever, so we can't like park in their yard or
even
driveway.
on their street for the most part.
Yeah. And so sometimes it's difficult to find parking like close enough to them. So it'll just be nice to not have that factor and just being like, okay, well, there's no parking that we can find over there, so we'll just go over there instead.
Yeah.
But
is there anything new that you've learned in the past month? Like we had all of our checklists and stuff from before, from month 1.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we've got those pretty much down as like second nature now. So
yeah, I mean, I think one of the things, I mean, I kind of already said earlier, but just if there is something you can do when you're going to park in a spot to just kind of give, like, if there's an extra step you can take to just kind of give you that peace of mind in sleeping in that area, whether it's just making a phone call or, I don't know, just checking to see if there is like a online registration or I don't know, something like if there just it really makes a big difference in just not having that kind of thought in the back of your mind of like, are we gonna get a knock?
Yeah, because then even if you do get the knock, you can be like, bam, we're ready, or we talked to so and so you need to call so and so or whatever. You can have that confidence.
Yeah, it's just nice to be able to do that. I think I'm gonna do a little product placement.
We did not okay this, so
I was just gonna say this is something we've learned that has made a big difference.
Nature Vets, quiet moments. Yeah, these have been great. They're great ingredients. Let me see if I can find it. So chamomile, something, passion flower, ginger, melatonin, and then it's like brewer's dried yeast, canola oil, dried potato product, flaxseed, glycerin, and then tapioca starch, vegetable oil, water, rosemary extract, natural flavoring. It's really, really great. They're just like these little chewy treats that Quaid has really been gobbling up.
Yeah. But because he can get a little anxious and like nervous / excited when we travel, and it just leads to him just like pacing around and just kind of like whining and crying. And especially he seems to do it the most just as we're pulling into a spot. And when you're pulling into a new spot that you're unfamiliar with and you have this like whining, pacing dog next to you that's pacing right by the door that you don't want him to fall, it's just this added level of stress for everyone. But yeah, this, I mean, we don't even give him like the full amount for his weight. And it doesn't like knock him out or anything. It just kind of mellows him out, and it's just enough so that he'll just kind of curl up and sleep and
just that. He just chills out.
Oh,
it's great. See? And now you can smell him.
Yeah. We're not going to give you one of those, but I'll give you one of these, puppy.
So yeah, these have been fantastic, especially
Want one of these?
if we stay in one place for longer, and then we start traveling again. Quaid tends to struggle a little bit with the transition again. He settles into it pretty quickly. Like the last few days, just traveling every day, he hasn't had nearly the same issues.
Yeah, I think he's definitely just kind of getting used to the routine of it all. I think it's helped that even though like we're moving all the time, we're kind of keeping the same routine in those new places. And so he's kind of like, okay, this is what we're doing. And then when we get there, we'll go for a walk. And then after that, we'll like settle in, hang out for a little, I don't know, he's just kind of like, oh yeah, all right, I know the drill.
Yeah. Yeah, those definitely help with the transition periods.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're looking for anything like more natural and that doesn't have all the like sedatives and things in it, that's a good way to go. And
we're not being paid to say that, but if you guys want to pay us.
And we'll be cutting some stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's honestly like the first month was pretty stressful, just with trying to get out of Rhode Island and New England. This month though has been much less so. It's been a lot easier for us. We're settling into the rhythm of things, and
it still has its moments, just like life does.
But we're learning better what to expect, and we can roll with the punches, I feel like, a little better.
Yeah, well, I mean, even just settling into our new home.
Yeah.
And just kind of being like, oh,
Not living out of boxes anymore.
Not living out of boxes, or being like, just simple things of like, oh yeah, that's where the can opener is. Or, oh, this is where we keep that, because it was all, we hadn't really established homes for things yet.
Right.
So it was kind of constantly, oh, where are the scissors? Where's this? Where's that? And
yeah.
I don't know. Little things like that.
It's feeling more and more like home. Like, it felt a lot like home, I feel like, from day one, but it's definitely, as like we put things away and find little, like, especially once we start putting shelves and stuff up, like, it's gonna be like, oh yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
So, anything else? Anything you're looking forward to? Anything? Any warnings?
Warnings?
I don't know.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
It's ominous.
I'm gonna say no. So I think we're all set.
Yeah.
That's month 2.
Yeah. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Yeah. It's exciting.
2022.
2022. We'll see what this year brings.
Hopefully better things than last year.
We're not gonna jinx it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. That's it. We will. We'll see you next month. Otherwise, feel free to keep up with us on Instagram, YouTube, and our bus. Keep an eye out. Bye.